The lights inside the theater glow softly as the audience settles into their seats, not knowing that they are about to witness one of the most unforgettable and strangely heartwarming moments ever seen on the America's Got Talent stage. There is a buzz in the air, a mixture of excitement and curiosity, because tonight is not just another audition night. Tonight, something unusual is about to walk out, something that no one can quite prepare for, and yet everyone will remember forever. The judges sit behind their desk, relaxed but alert. Simon Cowell leans back slightly, arms crossed, his expression neutral but focused. Heidi Klum smiles politely, scanning the stage. Howie Mandel looks playful as always, while Neil Patrick Harris, guest judge for the night, watches with a curious glint in his eyes. Neil is no stranger to magic or showmanship, and that makes this moment even more interesting. He knows the difference between simple tricks and true performance. The audience quiets as the host announces the next act. From backstage emerges a figure that instantly confuses and delights everyone at the same time. Walking slowly into the spotlight is a man dressed in an elegant but slightly awkward suit, his posture calm, his face serious. But beside him, and somehow sharing equal importance, is a small green dragon. The dragon is wearing a tiny costume, complete with goggles, and looks as if it has just stepped out of a fantasy story and into reality. The crowd begins to laugh and clap, unsure whether this is meant to be comedy, magic, or something else entirely. The man introduces himself in a calm, slightly dry voice. He says his name is Piff. He does not raise his voice or try to force excitement. He lets the moment breathe. He explains that he is a magician, and the dragon beside him is named Mr. Piffles. The dragon does not speak, of course, but its presence alone creates a wave of amusement across the room. Neil Patrick Harris smiles widely now, clearly intrigued. He knows that magic is not just about tricks, but about character, timing, and connection, and this act already has all three. Piff's humor is subtle, almost awkward, but that awkwardness is deliberate. It pulls people in. He begins his routine without rushing, allowing the audience to absorb every small movement. He speaks slowly, his tone dry, letting the pauses do as much work as the words. The dragon stands beside him, occasionally reacting in small ways that make the audience laugh even harder. It feels as if the dragon is alive, as if it has its own personality, even though everyone knows it is part of the act. As the magic begins, the first tricks seem simple on the surface. Cards appear and disappear, objects move in ways they should not. But what makes it special is not just the mechanics of the magic. It is the way Piff presents it. He treats each trick as if it is slightly inconvenient, as if magic is something that just happens to him rather than something he tries to show off. This reversal of expectation is powerful. Instead of shouting for attention, he pulls attention toward him effortlessly. Neil Patrick Harris watches closely, his face lighting up with genuine appreciation. As a magician himself, he understands how difficult it is to make magic look casual and funny at the same time. Piff is doing exactly that. Every movement is precise, yet nothing feels forced. The dragon's reactions add another layer, turning the act into a silent conversation between magician and companion. The audience is completely engaged now. Laughter rolls through the theater, followed by gasps as each trick lands. Piff continues, moving seamlessly from one moment to the next. He brings a member of the audience into the act, maintaining his dry humor even as things escalate. Cards are chosen, lost, and found in impossible ways. Each reveal is met with louder applause than the last. At one point, Piff pauses, looking out at the judges with a straight face that somehow makes everything funnier. Simon raises an eyebrow, clearly impressed despite himself. Heidi leans forward, smiling brightly. Howie laughs openly, enjoying every second. Neil Patrick Harris nods slowly, his respect growing with each moment. This is not just magic. This is storytelling, comedy, and character blended into one unique performance. As the act reaches its climax, Piff prepares for a final trick. The atmosphere shifts slightly. The laughter softens into anticipation. The audience senses that something bigger is coming. Piff takes his time, letting the tension build. He explains the setup carefully, his voice calm, almost understated. The dragon stands beside him, perfectly still, as if aware of the importance of the moment. The final reveal happens in a way that feels both shocking and inevitable. The trick lands perfectly, clean and impossible. For a brief second, there is silence as the audience processes what they have just seen. Then the theater erupts. Applause explodes from every corner. People rise to their feet, cheering, laughing, clapping as loudly as they can. The judges stand as well, their reactions genuine and enthusiastic. Neil Patrick Harris looks genuinely moved. He applauds with a wide smile, shaking his head slightly in disbelief. When the applause finally settles, the judges begin to speak. Howie praises the originality of the act, saying he has never seen anything like it before. Heidi talks about how lovable and memorable the dragon is, and how the act made her smile from start to finish. Simon, known for his tough criticism, admits that he was skeptical at first but is now completely won over. He calls it clever, unique, and perfectly executed. Then Neil Patrick Harris speaks. His words carry special weight, because he understands magic on a deep level. He talks about how difficult it is to create a character that feels real and fresh, and how Piff has done exactly that. He praises the timing, the humor, and the way the act connects with the audience. He says that this is not just a good magic act, but a great performance. As Neil finishes speaking, there is a pause. The audience senses something important is about to happen. Neil looks at Piff, then at the dragon, then back at the crowd. He smiles again, a smile filled with excitement and confidence. Without hesitation, he reaches forward and presses the golden buzzer. The moment the buzzer is hit, the theater explodes in gold. Confetti rains down from above, covering the stage in shimmering light. The audience screams with joy, standing once again, clapping and cheering at the top of their lungs. Piff stands there for a moment, seemingly stunned, his calm expression finally breaking into a small smile. The dragon, still beside him, seems to share in the victory, making the moment even more surreal and touching. Golden confetti sticks to Piff's suit and the dragon's costume as the realization sinks in. This is not just approval. This is a direct ticket to the live shows, a recognition of something truly special. Piff looks around, taking it all in, as if he himself cannot quite believe it is happening. Neil Patrick Harris walks over to the stage, embracing Piff and celebrating the moment with him. The audience continues to cheer as Piff speaks briefly, thanking everyone in his understated way. His voice remains calm, but the emotion behind it is clear. This moment represents years of work, practice, and belief in a character that is unlike anything else. It is a reminder that success does not always come from being loud or flashy. Sometimes it comes from being different, from trusting your own strange and wonderful ideas. As the confetti settles, the judges return to their seats, still smiling and shaking their heads in disbelief. Simon looks thoughtful, perhaps already imagining how this act could evolve in the live shows. Heidi wipes away a tear of laughter and joy. Howie continues to grin. Neil Patrick Harris looks satisfied, confident that he has made the right choice. The camera pulls back slightly, capturing the full scene. The stage is still glowing, the audience still buzzing with excitement. Piff and his dragon stand together at center stage, framed by golden light. It is a moment that feels magical in every sense of the word, not just because of the tricks, but because of the story, the character, and the connection created in just a few minutes. This performance becomes one of those moments people talk about long after the episode ends. It is shared, replayed, and remembered because it represents the heart of what America's Got Talent is about. It is about giving a platform to the unexpected, celebrating creativity in all its forms, and recognizing that sometimes the most powerful performances come from the most unlikely places. Piff the Magic Dragon does not need to shout or rush. He does not need explosions or dramatic speeches. He simply walks onto the stage with a dragon, tells his story through quiet humor and precise magic, and leaves with the golden buzzer in the hearts of millions. It is a reminder that magic is not just about what you see, but how it makes you feel. As the episode moves on to the next act, the energy in the room remains changed. The audience knows they have witnessed something special. The judges know it too. And somewhere backstage, Piff and his dragon prepare for the next chapter of a journey that has just taken a brilliant, golden turn. The story does not end when the confetti stops falling. In many ways, that moment is only the beginning. Backstage, the noise of the crowd still echoes faintly through the walls, and Piff stands quietly with Mr. Piffles tucked under his arm. The dragon costume is still on, the goggles slightly crooked now, but the character feels more alive than ever. Crew members pass by, congratulating him, some laughing, some shaking their heads in disbelief, all of them smiling. Piff nods politely, still processing what just happened. He has spent years performing this exact act in smaller rooms, on quieter stages, often in front of people who did not know what to expect. Now, the entire world has seen it, and they loved it. As he walks down the hallway, flashes from cameras light up the space. Interviews begin almost immediately. People ask him how he came up with the dragon, why he chose such a strange character, and whether he ever imagined something like this would happen. Piff answers in the same calm, dry tone he uses on stage. He explains that the dragon is not just a costume, but a way of seeing the world. A way to stand out without shouting. A way to make people laugh while still amazing them. Mr. Piffles, of course, says nothing, but the way Piff holds him makes it clear that the dragon is more than just a prop. Meanwhile, in the judge's lounge, the conversation continues. Simon Cowell leans back in his chair, still thinking about the performance. He admits that acts like this are rare. Magic alone is common. Comedy alone is common. But when someone finds a way to blend them so seamlessly, it becomes something special. Heidi talks about how instantly memorable the act is, how people will talk about the dragon the next day, and the next week, and even years later. How he laughs as he says that this is exactly the kind of act people tune in for, because it surprises them in the best way possible. Neil Patrick Harris listens, clearly pleased, knowing that pressing that golden buzzer was not just an emotional decision, but a smart one. Days later, the audition airs on television, and the reaction is immediate. Social media lights up with clips, comments, and reactions from around the world. People who have never watched America's Got Talent before find themselves clicking on a video titled with the words Magic Dragon and Golden Buzzer. They laugh, they rewind, they share it with friends. Children love the dragon. Adults appreciate the clever humor and the skill behind the tricks. Magicians respect the craft. Comedians admire the timing. It becomes one of those rare performances that crosses boundaries and appeals to everyone in a different way. Piff watches some of the reactions quietly, alone, scrolling through messages late at night. He does not respond to many of them. That is not his style. But he reads them, and for someone who built a career on understated emotion, the impact is deeply felt. Messages come from people saying that the act made them smile on a bad day, that it reminded them how powerful creativity can be, that it encouraged them to embrace their own weird ideas instead of hiding them. As the live shows approach, rehearsals begin. The pressure increases, but Piff does not change who he is. He does not try to become louder or flashier. Instead, he refines the details. Every pause, every glance, every small reaction from the dragon is rehearsed until it feels effortless. The magic becomes cleaner. The comedy becomes sharper. The connection becomes stronger. He understands that on a stage this big, simplicity can be more powerful than chaos. When he steps onto the stage for the live shows, the audience reaction is immediate. Cheers are up the moment they see the dragon. People already feel like they know this character. They trust him. That trust allows Piff to take them on a journey, guiding them through moments of laughter and amazement without ever breaking character. The judges watch closely, knowing that expectations are high now. But Piff delivers, staying true to himself, staying true to the dragon. Each performance builds on the last, and with every round, the bond between magician and audience grows stronger. It becomes clear that this act is not just a novelty. It has depth. It has heart. Behind the jokes and the tricks is a performer who understands storytelling at its core. Someone who knows that the best magic is not just about fooling the eyes, but about touching the imagination. Win or lose, something important has already been achieved. Piff the Magic Dragon has become a symbol of creative courage. A reminder that you do not have to fit into a traditional mold to succeed. That embracing what makes you different can be your greatest strength. The golden buzzer moment was not just a highlight of the season. It was a turning point in a career built on patience, precision, and belief in a very unusual idea. As the season moves forward, audiences continue to watch, cheer, and wonder what the dragon will do next. And every time Piff walks onto that stage, calm and composed, with Mr. Piffles by his side, it feels like magic all over again. Not because of what disappears or reappears, but because of how it makes people feel. And that is the kind of magic that lasts long after the lights fade and the stage goes dark.